What's up guys, it's Timo here and welcome to the latest Liverpool news and transfer news. In this video we will summarize all you need to know about Liverpool Football Club, and the latest news is that Timo Werner dropped a big transfer hint and also he gave an interview on his future. So Timo Werner is still not ruling out a switch abroad and a transfer to the Premier League or La Liga, despite only signing just a new deal at the Bundesliga club RB Leipzig. But that new deal has a release clause. He was only signing a new deal if he had a way out of Leipzig when a big club comes calling. And I think at the moment he wanted to stay at Leipzig because the new coach Julian Nagelsmann has a very good role for him. He's starting every week and he already scored quite a few goals in the Bundesliga this season, and last season he scored 20 goals. On average he scores about 20 goals a season, and I think Timo Werner could be a brilliant player because for Liverpool, because he's just 23 years old. So let me know, do you want Liverpool to sign Timo Werner? Put your thoughts in the comments below, and where do you see him fitting into the Liverpool starting 11 and the tactics. And guys, if you enjoy these videos, leave a like. It just takes 1 second for you guys to press the like button. And Timo Werner will be in action today against the Netherlands, so it will be a good test to see Timo Werner against Liverpool defender Virgil van Dijk. The Germany-Netherlands game will be fascinating, and Werner already has 10 goals in 25 games for Germany, and he almost run down his contract at RB Leipzig, because next summer his contract would have been out, and he could have had left for free. But I think because Timo Werner had such a big development at Leipzig, he wanted to repay his club and just to ensure that Leipzig gets a little bit of money for him. So the 20 million pound release clause, I think, is a very small release clause, and that basically guarantees Timo Werner a chance to sign for any top club, because all the top teams in the world now can easily pay that release clause. And this is what he said about a potential summer move next summer. He was asked about a potential move in the future by a sports newspaper, and this is what Timo Werner said recently: "I don't exclude anything. I am right now, and I will remain a player of RB Leipzig in the nearby future. But next summer or in January transfer window, who knows? I don't exclude anything." And of course, that also played a role in my thinking that Julian Nagelsmann, the Leipzig coach, has a very important role for me here at Leipzig. And Timo Werner also revealed that he talked to Germany coach Joachim Löw about his future before deciding to extend his contract at Leipzig. Werner, who was linked to Liverpool and Bayern Munich in particular, hadn't made up his mind when Löw advised him to continue his development under the new RB Leipzig coach Julian Nagelsmann. And this is what Werner said: "Löw wanted to know what I was aiming for, but I wasn't sure at the time. He made me understand that Julian Nagelsmann is a good coach and that I can take another step in my development under him." But Timo Werner didn't sign this contract extension straight away when Nagelsmann came in. He wanted to play a little bit under Nagelsmann to see whether it was a good decision to stay or not. And this is what Leipzig forward Werner said: "I wanted to know how Nagelsmann would see me, what his plans are for me, and whether his playing style would suit me or not. I was virtually certain to play under former RB Leipzig coach Ralf Rangnick as long as I performed well. But it could be that Nagelsmann would see me differently, or maybe it wouldn't work at a personal level. But ultimately, Nagelsmann managed to convince me to stay put for now. He immediately signaled that he believed in me, that I have great potential, and that he wanted to make me even better. He wanted me to stay." And Timo Werner scored a hat-trick in the previous round in the Bundesliga. So now Leipzig are first in the Bundesliga with 9 points from 9 games, and Werner scored like 5 goals already, or 4 goals already in 3 games in the Bundesliga, which is an outstanding return. And Timo Werner has reportedly said, according to some newspapers, that he would only consider leaving RB Leipzig for a club like Liverpool, Barcelona or Real Madrid. He's mentioned those 3 clubs specifically. And considering that he only signed for 10 million euros in June 2016 from Stuttgart to Leipzig, that was a club record at the time. But now Leipzig are in a much better financial situation. But still, the release clause is about 25 million pounds, which is 30 million euros. That makes him a very attractive proposition for the European elite clubs. And despite committing his future to Leipzig, it is claimed that he would only leave Germany for a club like Liverpool, Barcelona or Real Madrid. Werner's comments will come as a slight concern for Leipzig, but Liverpool, along with Barcelona and Real Madrid, will be boosted by the news if they ever decide to make a move. And I think Jurgen Klopp is keeping a very close eye on Timo Werner. And I think that even with Firmino, Mane and Salah at the club, we could make it work to get Timo Werner in and to play him. Because remember that when we wanted to accommodate Shaqiri in the starting 11, Jurgen Klopp switched the formation a little bit and Liverpool were still effective. We put Shaqiri on the right wing, we put Salah up front, Mane on the left and Firmino behind Salah, and that really worked against the smaller teams because we had Fabinho and Henderson in defensive midfield roles, and they could protect the back 4, and the front 4 could wreak havoc on the defenses. And I think with Timo Werner that could be an even stronger front 4. Can you imagine against teams like Bournemouth, Newcastle, Southampton, Sheffield United, Norwich, Aston Villa, teams like that? We could line up with Timo Werner up front, Salah on the right, Mane on the left, and Firmino behind Werner, pulling the strings. And those 4 players could interchange, because even Werner can play as a false 9, but I think Werner up front is maybe the only position that we won't move if he starts. But Salah and Mane can switch places, they can interchange with Firmino, and it could be a very fluid front 4, which could have a lot more firepower than Liverpool have right now. And Liverpool are now one of the most frightening, one of the most exciting attacking forces in world football. But with Timo Werner, I mean, for 25 million pounds, it makes sense to bring him in. For that amount, you don't get a player anywhere near the quality of Timo Werner. Otherwise, we just need to convince Werner that he will start a lot of games at Liverpool. And I think if there is a man to do it, it's Jurgen Klopp. He's German. I'm sure that he has some connection with, Leipzig. We already signed Naby Keita from them. So I don't think it would be a problem to convince Leipzig to let us talk to Timo Werner. And then Jurgen Klopp surely can convince Werner that for the good of his career, it's the best place to be. Right now, Liverpool are one of the most exciting, one of the most sought after clubs in world football, one of the most appealing clubs in world football for any striker. And the Liverpool newspaper is even saying that Liverpool will monitor Timo Werner and scout Timo Werner extensively this season, because he is apparently a perfect Klopp striker. So there are more fashionables, more well-known strikers, but very few strikers would suit Liverpool better than Timo Werner. At 23, he has a big chunk of his career still ahead of him, and his all-round game very, very well fits into Jurgen Klopp's playing style and Liverpool's playing style. He's hard-working, he has very good technical ability, and also he has a very good eye for goal. He has a very good goal scoring record. As I said, on average he's scoring about 15-20 goals for Leipzig, and this season he could even score 25 goals, maybe even 30 goals if he keeps this goal scoring run going. I mean, 5 goals in his first 3 games in the Bundesliga. What a start for Timo Werner. And Liverpool will have a fight on their hands, definitely, if they want to sign him. Bayern Munich are also strongly linked, and Barcelona and Real Madrid as well. But I think Liverpool should make a move, that's my opinion. Andy Robertson gave a very interesting interview, and he said that he attributes Liverpool's relentlessness to an impeccable attitude on the training ground. This is what he said. The standard is high, and that's why we get the best out of each other on a Saturday, because every single day we demand more in training. The manager is the one that dictates that, and his staff behind him. They don't let us drop even 1% in training, and that's why in a game we are usually ready to go. Of course, we will have bad games and we will have off games. That's only natural, but it's not from a lack of trying. And it's not from a lack of effort, because in training we put in the distances we need and the work we need and the effort and everything that goes along with it. Then we are the best prepared to go into games. That's what you need to be a top team. So that is brilliant, and to see Liverpool still very hungry and very determined and very, confident in their ability after winning the Champions League is brilliant. I was a little bit afraid that Liverpool will drop their level a little bit after winning the Champions League, but I think the disappointment of not winning the Premier League, that will really motivate Liverpool and keep it going. And Ashley Barnes, the Burnley striker, reflected on what it was like to face Liverpool, and this interview is very telling. This is what he said: "It was a tough afternoon for us. We had a couple of chances, and you have to take those against the top teams, or they will make you pay for it. You have to give them credit for how clinical they were for their second and third goals. That is what Liverpool can do to you. They punish teams because they are so quick on the counter-attack and so good when they get a sniff of the goal. You can see their quality all over the park, and they are still growing. They are going to take a lot of stopping." And Newcastle United are the next opponents at Anfield, and I think that Liverpool really should beat Newcastle if everything goes to plan. But after that, we will have like 4 away games in the Premier League and in the Champions League. So it's a tough run of fixtures. We will have to play Chelsea away from home and Napoli as well. So that is going to be very, very hard. But I'm also looking forward to the Liverpool youngsters and how they will do against MK Dons, who are a lower league side in League One, and we really should be beating them. But away from home, it's a tricky fixture. They will be up for it. And I just want to see how the Liverpool youngsters will do against them. And Paul Merson, who is a former Arsenal player, gave an outrageous statement recently on Sky Sports, where he said Arsenal's front three are as good as any in the Premier League, on a par with Manchester City and Liverpool, without a doubt. Great attackers rely on service. The only solution I see would be to play the front three with Mesut Ozil in the hole behind them. I think that to say that without a doubt they are as good as Aguero, Sterling and Riyad Mahrez or Bernardo Silva, or as good as Salah, Firmino and Mane. What a load of nonsense. What is Paul Merson smoking or taking to make that statement? Maybe he wants them to be as good, but the evidence doesn't back it up. Because yes, Aubameyang is on paper as good as Salah, Mane, as good as Aguero, Sterling in terms of goal scoring, in terms of contribution. But Nicolas Pepe is a youngster, a newcomer in the Premier League. How can he say that Nicolas Pepe is as good as one of the front three of Man City, who have been playing in the Premier League for years, or as good as one of the front three of the Liverpool front three, as they have been playing and doing it, proving it every year, every season for multiple seasons? I think that they have the potential to be as good, but I can't see them at the moment being as good as Mane, Salah or Firmino. I think that's a load of nonsense, and I think that Paul Merson should be a little bit more talking with his head instead of with his heart, because I think this is like an emotional statement. Because yes, when Liverpool had some exciting attackers, Liverpool fans also were maybe talking about them in a way that was carried away and also a bit emotional. I think you have to analyze football with a cold head, and also analytically you shouldn't have your emotions be speaking ahead of your rational side, because then you have statements like this. Because next, what will Paul Merson say? That Arsenal will win the Premier League? I mean, they are a good team. They have a better team than last year. No doubt about that. I think Arsenal will be finishing in the top 4 or in and around the top 4, very, very close. But I don't think they have as good an attack as Manchester City or Liverpool. The evidence doesn't back it up. If at the end of the season you look at the goals scored by that front three and it compares to the front three of Liverpool, or it compares to the front three of Man City, then it's a different scenario. Then you can say that they are as good. But right now, nonsense, no chance. And Louis Saha, who is actually a former Everton and Manchester United player, so he doesn't have an agenda for Liverpool. He actually said that Sadio Mane is criminally underrated, claiming that he's a more consistent player than Mo Salah and deserves more recognition. I'm not sure if he's more consistent at the moment, but there is certainly evidence if you just take a look into the form of these two players from January onwards. Mane is a little bit better than Salah, because Salah had an 8 or 9 game goal scoring drought in spring of 2019, and Mane was the player who kept scoring goals and who kept Liverpool ticking over and getting over the line in many games. This is what Saha said about Sadio Mane. For me, Mane is the most consistent one. He's dangerous in every game. We have seen Salah sometimes being off and not inspired, but Mane has been very consistent. He's underrated in terms of the rankings for the Ballon d'Or. The rankings surprised me. He wasn't even in the top 10. For me, it's a shocker. He's been the most consistent player at Liverpool this year, more than Salah. When Salah wasn't scoring over 7 or 8 games, Mane was there. I agree with him that for Mane to not get into the top 10 list of the Ballon d'Or is shocking, because I think he should definitely be in the top 10. Maybe not in the top 5, but top 10 for sure. Mane is good enough to be in the top 10 best players in the world. Because, for example, he won the Golden Boot in the Premier League. Yes, alongside Mane, alongside Salah and Aubameyang, but he still won the Golden Boot. And I think this year alone, if you just take the last half of the season and this season, Mane is a little bit more consistent than Salah. I'm not saying that Mane is a better footballer. It's very difficult to tell, and I don't want to say outright who is the better footballer. But right now, Mane is more consistent. But this season, they are equal at the moment. So one game, it's Salah who is shining. Another game, it's Mane. And I just want them both to succeed. And I really hope that they cooled themselves down and sorted out their differences. Because Mane has been very angry at Salah, because Salah sometimes hasn't passed the ball to Mane. And I think this has been boiling over for many months. This is not just after 4 games this season. This has been a trend that Mane has seen, and he just got fed up with it at Burnley. So I really hope that they sorted out the differences. Let me know what they think in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Goodbye.